All right, so we're back, and next thing we're going to do is we are going to draw the anchor bolt that goes in this spot right here. And we're going to use a 1/2-inch anchor bolt. I think I used a smaller one on the last one, but after giving it more thought, that's really too small for the job. So we're going to use a 1/2 inch on this one. And I'm going to come and I'm just going to kind of stick it up a little bit above that mud seal right there. And I'm going to come down 10 inches. Okay. Now that makes it a 10-inch anchor bolt. Now the thing with code is it has to be 7 inches into the concrete. So how do I do that is I come over here and I just pick up that geometry, pull down 7 inches, and then draw my line out to the side. Doesn't matter how long the line is. Okay. And that's where I wrote 7-inch minimum. Now this isn't a normal part of the drawing. But it's there just so that you will know. So go ahead and just put it there as well, just like I did, just to kind of help process that information. So I'm writing a 7-inch minimum. Oops, there we go. All right, so 7-inch minimum. Now to do this bolt, to finish this bolt up, this anchor bolt, I'm going to offset it 1/4 of an inch in both directions. Offset, okay, 0.25, that equals 1/4 of an inch. And that's going to make a 1/2-inch anchor bolt. I can get rid of the center line here. All right, and I'm also going to put a, let's see, what's the best way to do this? Well, I can do it like this. It's got to have a like a J on the end of it. Sometimes it's actually a hook. Sometimes it's just a bend to make like a hook right here. So we'll just run that about 2 inches out. Okay, and then we'll take this and we'll offset it 2 inches. Type 2 inches and we'll offset that same hook. Oops, I think that, is that 2 inches? No, wait. I'm sorry. I'll take that back. We need to offset it 1/2 inch. Okay. All right. And then we can create a corner with a fillet tool. Create that corner right there. Okay. It actually created a bend because I don't have my fillet tool set correctly, but that is good. Okay. My fillet tool is actually set at, if it'll tell me, at 1 inch. Okay, so that's what you're going to have to do. Okay, and I didn't realize mine was still set that way. Okay, is once you make your corner, you're going to have to create a, like a mild bend, an arc. Okay, you can do that with an arc tool or you can just do it with a fillet tool. All right, so when you select your fillet tool, before you do anything else, you're going to come down here to the command line. You can see where it says radius. You can click on that or you can just type R and hit the enter button. And then it'll give you a box where you can enter the size of your radius. So it's going to be 1 inch. And then, of course, I'm going to do this one as well. Whoops. Got to hit the enter button to get back into it. And that looks kind of weird. Maybe we can bend it around a little bit, make it look a little nicer. Now that looks good. Okay. Close off the end. And now you have your anchor bolt, or some people call them J-bolts. Let's go ahead and close off the top. Okay. And doing some further or adjusting to this, not really annotating, but this part is going to be done as a hidden line. This little part of the bolt right here that goes through the 2x6 pressure treated piece of lumber. It's going to be hidden lines. Now, of course, you might want to ask, why aren't these hidden lines down here? But, that's just the traditional way of doing it, or at least the traditional way that I learned how to do it. I mean, these lines could actually be hidden lines if you want them to be, but I think they typically want those to kind of stand out And then these lines are going to be hidden because you really can't see them. They're going through this board right here. Okay. And I guess essentially they're going through the concrete as well, but just do it like this. This will also teach you how to use a few more of the tools on AutoCAD, but I'm going to use this split tool right here, or it's called a breakpoint tool. I call it a split tool because it splits the line, but it allows you to split the line and set a specific breakpoint. So I'm going to select that tool. I'm going to come down here and select the object first. That's the object I want to cut. Okay, now I'm going to select the actual breakpoint. So here's going to be a breakpoint. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to hit the enter button to go back into the tool. And you can see how it's already cut at that point right there. Okay, I'm going to click, select the object, and then this time I'm going to cut it down here. I'm going to do the same thing, hit the enter button, select this object, select that cut point, hit the enter button again, select this object, and select this cut point. Now both of those lines are cut right there, and I can change the line type to a hidden line. Now, at this scale, they look kind of like this, okay, which is okay. It's not really that detrimental, but I'll show you how you can actually make this a little bit smaller by using your properties panel right here. I'm going to go to line type scale right there with those two lines selected, and let's turn it into a 0.5 and see what happens. That looks a little better, actually. You can actually change it to a 0.25, and it might even look even better. Okay, now get out of that. So now I have those two as real hidden lines inside of that lumber. Okay, so there's my bolt. Next thing I want to do is work on a washer and a nut to go up on the top of it, because this has to have a 2-inch washer that is specified, and a 3/4 by 1-inch bolt that bolts down on top of this. And to make that washer, all I really do is find the center of this line, click, and then draw over. I really didn't have to do it that way, but I'm going to anyway. Come over 1 inch, go up about 1/8 of an inch, and then draw over 2 inches. And then draw back down to right here. And that's really as far as you need to go. You really don't even need that starting line that I did. Get rid of that. Also come in here with your trim tool. Trim that line out and that line out. Okay, so they're going through the washer. Now we need to put a nut on top of this that secures the bolt in the washer. And it's going to be 3/4 of an inch thick. So I'm going to do the same thing. Just find the center. I'm going to go up. Let's see. That's the best way to do this. Let me go up 3/4 of an inch. Now you might find some easier ways to carry these things out. And if it works for you, that's perfectly fine. What I'm interested in is you have the end product. And I'm going to offset it. It's a 1-inch nut. So I'm going to offset it 1/2 of an inch in both directions. So it's already set in my dialog box there. And I'm going to get rid of the center line. Draw this across here. Trim. Okay, now what I do to make it look like an actual nut is I put some kind of off-centered lines on it, like this right here. And then I'll put another one just kind of off-centered. Okay, so if you've ever seen a hex nut, that's kind of what this is. All right. So we got a washer, we got our nut. Everything is taken care of. Now what we need to do is draw the lines that represent the studs, the wall studs. And, you know, just arbitrarily draw them a distance. They don't have to be any specific distance. You don't want to draw them too long. And then, of course, just go ahead and close it off the top. Now you're going to actually end up putting a break line up here to break that, to show that that's broken. And that's it for this video. Let's pause here and we'll come back and we'll put the exterior siding on the building, and then we'll start doing some annotating.